What is up, breadcrumbs? Welcome back to our podcast. This is Sandwiched, and I am Cheese.
And I'm Meat.
And this week, as you know, we watched the movie The Matrix, directed by the Wachowskis. And I did not realize how long this movie was. It has a runtime of 2 hours and 16 minutes. Mostly because when I've watched this before, I did not like the events flow so well. It does not feel like almost 2 hours, like 2 hours and 15 minutes. The story revolves around Thomas Anderson, also known as his hacker alias Neo. He gets in over his head when he finds out that the world he lives in might not be real. And I wanted to ask you, because we've both said that we've seen this movie tens of times. Do you remember what your first, the first time you watched it, your first reaction was to it?
I don't even remember the year I would have first watched it. I probably was pretty young, maybe like 8 or something, just watching whatever VHS movies we have. And I think we owned only the first and second one. I want to say the first time I watched it, I think I thought it was very business-esque, because like how they're dressed, and of course the men in suits, and my brain's like, oh, this is adult stuff. Because again, I was probably like 8, so but I know I loved it because I usually like action movies. I like this. I didn't know what simulation meant, but I loved that idea of conspiracies and whatnot. Ever since I was young, I was super into conspiracies. So thinking like, whoa, like this could be us. And I have that tendency after watching movies to just pretend like I'm in the movie. So I was always like, wow, the scene where he dodges the bullet. But yeah, that was my first experience. What about yours?
I honestly don't remember.
Oh, wow.
I've seen this movie a lot. One thing I do remember is when I was a teenager, I watched all 3 of them. Well, now there's more than 3, but at the time there were 3. The Matrix Reloaded, and The Matrix Revolutions.
I think it's Revolutions, yeah.
And I thought that the first one was amazing. And it probably had been at least 10 years since I had seen it at that point in time. Because for those of you who don't know, this movie is rated R, despite my curiosity as to why it's rated that. I really have no idea, but
I think it's because of the violence.
I mean, I honestly think it could get away with a PG-13 rating, but at the same time, I understand. Like, for the time, it was something new that nobody had ever seen before, and so they didn't really know where to put it on the rating scale. So today, I feel like it could get away with PG-13.
That's fair.
So, because you typically don't really recognize actors, I wanted to ask, did you recognize anybody?
Only 2 people. Obviously, my boy Keanu Reeves, who I just love from not only The Matrix, but my other favorite movie that he's in is Constantine. Love it. It's another like apocalyptic awakening story for him. And then a classic, Bill and Ted's Adventures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the third one of those?
Is it like the one where it's in the future?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're like older.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't watch movies where it's like got a huge span. I think that's why I haven't seen Matrix 4 yet, because there's a like 18-year difference from release dates. So, and then Hugo Weaving, I know from one of my top 5 favorite movies. V is for Vendetta, and then there's also Mortal Engines I know him from. Mainly I know him from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And I think he's in like 1 or 2 of the Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
And then he's in Cloud Atlas, which is another good one, which is also directed from the Wachowskis. They directed Cloud Atlas and Jupiter's Ascending, which was a good movie, and Speed Racer. Just to name those few that I enjoy. And they both are like, they're like dual directors.
That the Wachowskis did, or that Hugo Weaving is?
No, sorry, no. Well, Hugo Weaving's in Cloud Atlas, but the Wachowskis also directed Cloud Atlas.
Because I was like, I don't remember Hugo Weaving in Speed Racer, but whatever.
He was Speed Racer. No.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, just to kind of like go back to the directors, they're like, they direct together. I don't think they direct anything separate from each other.
Which is cool.
I think that's amazing. It's
especially
like
since they're family.
Yeah, and like, and they mainly work for, I don't know if they mainly work for the Warner Brothers, but like, I like that idea of like just two siblings just doing stuff together. You know, I don't remember who's the people who created the airplane. Weren't they brothers?
The Wright brothers?
Yeah. The Wright brothers, the Warner brothers, the Wachowski sisters, like all people just doing things together. I love it. What about you?
Obviously, Keanu Reeves.
Copycat.
He's really well known now as John Wick.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you have seen John Wick and haven't seen The Matrix, you should go back and watch it.
Oh yeah.
Like, you don't really need to watch the rest of his stuff. He was also, let's see, I'm trying to remember. He was in a movie called Point Break.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have. It just wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's fair. Love Bill and Ted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about all I got for Keanu Reeves. I think that the thing is he's been in so many movies that sometimes you just can't remember them all.
And on top of that, it's not so much his impact in movies that's so memorable, but his impact just on the world in his everyday life, or like behind production, what he does.
Yeah, that's true. He's super nice.
Mm-hmm.
Such a cool guy. I think he was also in a movie called The Lake House or something like that. I don't know.
Oh.
Don't quote me on that. I have no idea. I also recognize Lawrence Fishburne, who is also a character in the John Wick films, which was kind of fun.
Oh, is that Morpheus?
Yeah.
Oh.
He played Morpheus in this film.
See, I haven't seen the John Wick movies. I think I need to, because I think it's like an assassin-like one, right? Or
yeah, he's a hitman, a hired
hitman.
hitman, and then he retires, and then he has to come out of retirement because of a dirtbag.
Right. Right. Maybe we'll have to do a month where it's like Hitman-esque, and then that'll make me watch John Wick.
Oh yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, because there's some really good ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like Mission Impossible.
Is that really Hitman-y?
No.
That's more of a spy movie.
Maybe we should do like Hitman slash assassin slash spy. You know, like be creative about it. I don't know.
That's fair.
Anyone else for you?
Not that I recognized. Like the thing is that I knew some of these guys, but I didn't know their name. Like I knew Hugo Weaving because of Elrond from Lord of the Rings, and then I looked it up, and apparently he's Red Skull in the first Captain America movie.
I saw,
which is interesting.
Like Captain America on his thing.
You don't know who Red Skull is, though, right?
I do know who Red Skull is,
Oh.
but but I didn't like I was saying earlier.
Well, I mean, you couldn't even really recognize him.
Exactly. Yeah, is like, you know, it's hard to recognize. Like, I think the actor who plays Voldemort is like, I think like he's in another movie that I've seen consistently, and it's hard to like say these are the two of the same people. You just don't see the difference.
Yeah. Carrie-Anne Moss.
Would you know her from?
I don't remember, but one of the movies that I saw her in was a movie called Fido. I only know because I watched it as a teenager. She played a character named Helen Robinson. And then I also know, I'm going to butcher his name because I don't know Italian names very well, Joe Pantoliano. He's been in multiple things. He was in Bad Boys as the police captain, Captain Howard. He's in The Fugitive as one of the FBI agents named Cosmo Renfro. And then he was in Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief, as Gabe, the, I guess, quote-unquote, D-bag stepdad role.
And for the audience, who's that character?
What?
Who does that actor play in this movie? For the
Oh,
audience?
he plays Cypher. Carrie-Anne Moss is Trinity, and Hugo Weaving is Mr. Smith.
No, Agent Smith.
Well, he goes by both
Oh, well.
in the movie.
It says Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Carrie-Anne Moss. I don't ever recognize her from a movie, but she's so iconic to me. And I think it's just because of this movie series. But I feel like if I see her, I'm like, oh yeah, The Matrix. I almost said X-Men on accident. But like, oh yeah, The Matrix. But I don't think I would see her anything else. But she's just like etched into my brain as I can only know her from The Matrix.
And she's pretty recognizable too.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't really look like anybody else.
Mm-mm.
But to kind of dive into the realm of actors,
Mm-hmm.
did you know that there were other people suggested to play the role of Neo? Like, they tried to get these people.
I don't think I could imagine a world where anyone besides Keanu could play Neo. But
See, isn't that crazy?
I know. I think oh gosh, there might be how many? Is there a lot? Pause for counting.
I think 9.
Whoa. Okay, so
I think
there's
I wrote down 9 people.
there's 9 other universes where each of these people play Neo, and you know, the Matrix is different because of it.
Oh, yeah. So they started off with trying to get Johnny Depp to do it,
Whoa.
and that didn't work out. Then Tom Cruise, then Leonardo DiCaprio,
All right.
then Mark Wahlberg,
Okay.
then Ewan McGregor,
All right.
then Nicolas Cage,
That would have been funny.
then Brad Pitt,
Oh, that would have been boring.
Lou Diamond Phillips, and then they were at this point in time they were like so desperate
Uh-huh.
that Warner Brothers was like, we don't care if Neo's a girl, ask Sandra Bullock.
Oh.
And then Sandra Bullock was like, nah. And then their final last ditch effort before Keanu Reeves was Will Smith.
I could probably see that one. Well, when did Men in Black come out, the first one?
See, but it wasn't Men in Black. He was about to do Wild Wild West.
Yeah, but when did Men in Black come out?
Like 94, 93,
See-
94.
see, I
no, this
wondered-
was a 95 film, wasn't it? Here, let me look it
No,
up.
The
quick.
Matrix is in 1999.
Oh, yeah, it was
So-
94 or 95, I think.
So I wonder if
I'll look it up to fact check myself.
Okay, then I'll talk a little bit. I wonder if they thought Will Smith. I know that's like what the 9th person or whatever, but like it's similar kind of esque role maybe. You know, he's played like that persona.
I was way wrong. It was 1997.
Okay, then pretty
So
recent.
he would have been like fresh off of that role.
Right. Speaking about Lou Diamond Phillips, or is it Louis? Lou Diamond Phillips. When he was sent the script, his agent actually said it's a guaranteed flop.
Yeah,
So-
which is crazy.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, and then I think it definitely got number 1. I don't think it got number 1 like most selling that year, but in the box office that weekend it made a lot of money.
Yeah, and did you know what Will Smith said when he turned it down?
That he couldn't believe that he like went away to make Wild Wild West instead.
Well, before, like when he turned it down,
Oh, I have no idea.
he said, "I'm not proud of it." Like he's not proud of the script.
Oh, I thought he just wasn't proud of the fact that he turned it down.
Well, I don't know. It said, "Oh no, sorry." He since said, "I'm not proud of it." Never mind. Scratch that. Erase it.
So he was not feeling happy that he
Yeah.
gave up
Yeah.
something that was amazing.
I don't know. I still don't think I don't know if I would have enjoyed Will in it because I like the movies that was it I Am Legend.
Yeah.
When I think about his acting style in Men in Black and I Am Legend, there's a certain very emotional and sometimes comedic sense to it that I don't think that would have been Neo's character. I just like how Keanu has his way about it, where he usually is maybe it's derived from his acting in Bill and Ted because it gives me a whoa feel, like he's processing, which worked in this one because he's unplugged, he's trying to adjust what's going on, he's being resistant. So I don't know. But to jump on your Keanu facts, did you know just before production started that he had underwent back surgery because of a fusion in his spine had started to cause paralysis in his legs? Like before production. So then he spent 4 months in training for the martial arts. I think him, Lawrence, and Carrie-Anne Moss, and Hugo all went into martial arts training for the 4 months. But for Keanu, he, obviously he found kicking really difficult because of his back. So in most of the film, he just does punch. He doesn't do much kicking. And I found this fact before I finished the movie. So in the very end, when he kind of like empowers being the one and he can see everything in binary, when he does that one final kick on Agent Smith before he jumps into him, he like does this weird spin thing with his leg, and my brain's like, is that because he's trying not to hurt his back? Like that was in my brain, and I was like, I always thought that was the coolest move, but was that purposeful or was that to not hurt his back? Because that was one of the kicks he did.
Interesting.
Isn't that?
Yeah. I don't know if I ever looked at it that way because I didn't know he was injured before filming.
Right, yeah. So I thought, whoa, that's an interesting thing. Because it's such a cool move where like he has a right angle with his foot, but then instead of like putting it down, he swings it and then puts it down. Yeah, I'm just like,
I know, it is beautiful though.
Yeah. The kick or the movie?
The kick.
Yeah, it was
the fact that he just like holds it and then rotates and then puts his foot down. It's sick.
I thought it was maybe it is a martial arts thing. I really don't know.
Well, I mean, they had a professional come in and teach him.
Yeah. To do 4 months of training is insane. I don't even know, like...
Well, I mean, and then he like also had... The martial artists they brought in also had power over choreography.
Oh, that's
so
good.
Like they were able to do all the fight scenes based around. I also learned that Warner Brothers, they like did a test show to them, and then they were just like their dudes were like, oh, we don't get it, and so they made the opening scene where Trinity is going through, and then she runs and jumps through the window, and then they were like, hooray!
I think I also saw that the opening scene was a lot longer before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't want to, like, I didn't put it down in my notes because I thought, it's fine. But since you bring it up, yeah, the Warner Brothers didn't want to greenlit the movie because they're like, the opening scene's too long, probably because they didn't get it or something. So then they didn't think the movie was just getting on with it, so then they chopped up and sped a lot of stuff up, which kind of makes sense because I'll get to it later when we get there. But there's a part in the movie I felt was choppy, but it wasn't during the opening scene at all.
Was it during the chopper scene?
No. But it like bothered me, but I'll get into it later. Before you move on though, I do have another fact about Keanu. And it was going on to what I was saying about how like he's well known for outside of his characters that he plays. So for starring in The Matrix, Keanu made $10 million up front. Like everyone else got paid later. Which added to his back-end share of the profits, he made $35 million in total. He donated 70% of this, which is $24.5 million, to a leukemia research, mainly because his sister had leukemia at the time. Mm-hmm. But also when filming the sequels, Reeves gave each member of the special effects and costume teams $1 million each. So by the end of the trilogy, he'd given away $75 million. And on top of that, there was another story that I guess appeared on Reddit, so I don't know, about a man who like built the sets for a living for The Matrix. And he was having like family debt trouble or whatnot, and Keanu heard about it, found out how much the crew member needed, and gave him a $20,000 Christmas bonus. And then he himself has been quoted to say, "Money is the last thing I think about. I could live on what I've already made for centuries, so I would rather give it to others." And I thought, this is why he's the man.
It's true.
Yeah.
something you don't know because of the fact you haven't seen the John Wick movies.
I know, I guess.
But in one of the John Wick movies, there's a stunt that they do because he battles people on motorcycles. He gave the motorcycles to all the people who were on them.
Whoa, that's really cool.
He was just like, go ahead and take them.
As the kids these days would say, he's the GOAT.
Oh, yeah. Greatest of all time.
Is that what that means?
Yeah. Did you not know that?
No.
Discovery Channel.
Oh my god. I've been looking at our friend sometimes stupidly when he says, yeah, no, my man's the GOAT. And I'm like, okay.
Just an easy way to say the greatest of all time.
Oh my god.
That's why LeBron James is the GOAT. Because people are like, that's where I first heard it.
Oh my gosh.
People saying LeBron James is the GOAT,
Yeah.
the greatest of all time. And then people were like, no, Michael Jordan's the GOAT. I almost said Jackson.
Man, I have to apologize to our friend now and then proceed to tell them why I'm apologizing.
Along the line of injuries, though, I found out that Carrie-Anne Moss also had an injury.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she sprained her ankle during I think it was an ankle spraining. I can't remember. During the introduction.
Yeah.
And she was so scared about recasting that she didn't tell anybody until the film was over.
I know, and I was gonna not preface. I was gonna say that after you were gonna talk about her recasting, because to be like, I wonder if it was publicized how many different choices they went through. So I wonder if she was so nervous. And since you stole my fact, I'm going to steal your fact.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Did you get all the names?
Yes, I did.
Did you get the fact about Here, I'll just find out.
Yeah, just let me do it. I'm a big kid. So obviously Carrie-Anne Moss wasn't the first choice either, which I don't think I could think of anyone else either, because I think they're just so good together. At this point in her career, Carrie-Anne Moss was largely unknown as an actress. So she had mostly been seen on television. There were a lot of other actresses up for the part of Trinity. So there's Marissa Tomei, which was in Anger Management. The girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's who that is?
Yeah, because I remember saying that name last time. Of like, I know her from other movies. So she might have been an okay Trinity. Then there was Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek.
Thank you. I'm going to butcher all of these names, and I'm so glad I have a co-host here to correct me, because I need to pay for my sins of not giving the proper namesake to these people. Also don't know who that is, but you know.
I think she's... Have you seen Hitch?
Yeah.
I think, if I remember right, I'm going to fact check myself because I have no idea if that's actually her name.
All right, you do that.
But I think it might be the girl that Hitch is like romantically involved with.
I don't know if she would have really worked, in my opinion at least. Then there's Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, I was wrong.
Oh, you okay. Did you look up the actress name, or did you look up the movie?
Actor. She was in Grown Ups. She was like I don't know, I'd say she was the Hispanic wife in Grown Ups.
Well, that would have been an interesting take.
She was also in Wild Wild West, which probably makes sense as to why she wasn't in The Matrix.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Puss in Boots. She was in Spy Kids.
Oh, then I know exactly who she is.
Yeah.
She would have made an interesting choice. I would have loved seeing that one. Yeah, but then Catherine Zeta-Jones, which could have been interesting. Jennifer Lopez was, I guess, a very interesting choice that they had. Angelina Jolie, which I feel like that one could have worked ideally, but I don't know.
Well, when I read that, I literally just thought of Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, it could work, but at the same time, I'd be like, I don't know.
Like overplayed.
I don't know how well it would work.
I think that's another reason why I'm glad Will Smith didn't say yes to it, because of his role in Men in Black. It would have been like an overplayed character role for him. We also have Drew Barrymore, which I think that would have been... Well, she was in... I don't remember when Charlie's Angels came out, but I feel like that also would have been a little bit of like an overplayed character moment again. Gillian Anderson was a choice. Uma Thurman, heck yeah, because isn't that who played Bill in Kill Bill? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And she was also in Pulp Fiction.
Oh my gosh.
At least I believe she was. I think she was
so.
the girl that like goes to the club with John Travolta, right?
I'm pretty sure. But that would have been an awesome choice. Lucy Liu, again, probably because of Charlie's Angels.
And Kill Bill.
Oh, Lucy Liu's in that one too.
Yeah, she's in Kill Bill Volume 1. Probably my favorite character in that movie, by the way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I still haven't been able to watch Volume 2 or Volume 3. I can't find it, but I think now I've noticed they're on a provider.
I didn't even know there was Volume 3.
Oh my gosh. Elizabeth Hurley, which I think we've talked about her before. And then Madonna. That would have been interesting. And Janet Jackson. But they all turned the role down. And then Jada Pinkett Smith auditioned for the part and even screen tested with Keanu, but the Wachowskis thought they had no chemistry together. But she was later casted in The Matrix Reloaded as, I don't know how to say the character name correctly, but Niobe is how it looks like it's spelled. Niobe. Niobe?
I assume that's how it's said, because I think that's how it's said in the movie. It's been forever since I've seen that one.
Exactly.
It's the sequels are ones that I've only watched once or twice, whereas I've seen this movie so many times.
That's fair. But yeah, and I think she just had the fear of being recasted, I guess. Maybe she did know about how many people were, like, turned the role down, and she didn't want to have to be like, oh. But I think, yes, her and Keanu have the best chemistry together.
That's awesome. Also along the lines of people who were casted, Morpheus. I looked it up I found this out because I was like, oh, that's interesting. They considered having Samuel L. Jackson, my bad, Gary Oldman, Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, Anthony Hopkins, and Robert De Niro. But they offered and were rejected. They made the offer to and were rejected by Russell Crowe, which would have been pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Chow Yun-Fat. It also would have been interesting to have an Asian Morpheus. But I mean, Chow Yun-Fat was doing Chinese action movies during that time.
Oh, yeah.
So that could have worked out. And then the most interesting one to me for this specifically is Sean Connery.
All right.
Do you want to know why that's funny?
Huh.
Because he looked pretty old in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And I think that was earlier than this. So he would have been like the wise grandpa.
Right.
Like
yeah.
kind of like an Uncle Iroh style kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess that would have made some sense. But I'm glad they stuck with Lawrence. I really like him.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Speaking about Samuel L. Jackson, though, I know he's done a lot of movies, but you want to know the number one movie I love him in?
Kingsman.
Nope.
Pulp Fiction.
No.
And The Incredibles.
No.
Okay, go. Star Wars?
No. Deep Blue Sea.
Never seen it.
It's a shark movie.
That's probably why. My mom, is he in submarines? Is he in a submarine?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. My mom doesn't like submarines.
It
makes her feel
the
claustrophobic,
submarine.
and so she just doesn't watch movies with submarines in them.
That's fair. I don't know. It's a substructure. Is that? It's like a structure that's underneath the water. It doesn't move.
Yeah.
But it would probably give the same effect. There's a really funny scene when they're down there, and he's having his monologue moment where he's like, I don't care about this mother effing shark or what it does. I am not gonna be running anymore, or something like that. And then the shark comes up and bites his arm or something, or takes him out. And he doesn't die.
I mean, he dies in a lot of movies.
Yeah, or maybe he did die. Maybe he comes back later. I don't know. But it's really funny, and I don't know. It's like iconic, and that's one of my comfort movies too. It's just a bunch of people being eaten by a step down. It's not really like a megalodon, but like they were doing scientific research on shark brains. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I have a fact about Hugo Weaving.
Sure.
A lot of my facts were injury based, but did you know that during filming they had to move around his scenes a bit, and which is really funny that Carrie Ann just kept quiet about her ankle, thinking she was going to be recasted, but Hugo Weaving told them about his quote-unquote injury. It's not really like an injury, it's a procedure he had to get done. He had to get a polyp removed, but they just like shot his scenes later. So it's like funny, like they could have just like let Carrie Ann have her ankle heal in like a week or whatever, and then continue filming, but not with Hugo.
But I mean, if you think about it, right, most of his scenes aren't with the other people. Like, he's not part of the crew, so he wouldn't be on the ship. His scenes, in most of his scenes, he could just be alone.
I guess that's fair.
Like the scene when he like looks up to the apartment complex and knows that that's where Neo's running. Like, you know, various scenes like that. I'm sure that they had to like wait on some of the scenes, like the fight in the subway, but
That's
for
fair.
for a majority of them, he's just there by himself.
Yeah. But then after filming, he had to have neck surgery
Sheesh.
because of like whatever, just like overdoing it during filming, which I can believe. Like, dang, you know.
Yeah, he does a lot in this movie.
Yeah, I found this fact also when I hadn't finished the movie. So I was looking at all the fight scenes, like the one where they're in the subway, and I'm like, maybe is that where it hurt his neck? Is that where it hurt his neck? Is that where it hurt
Yeah, he
his
gets
neck?
tossed around like a jelly bean.
Yeah, and oh, there was another fact that I think Keanu does all his stunts, right? He doesn't have a double, right? I think that's what I saw. I don't know if the other people had.
Carrie
it.
Ann Moss insisted on doing so.
Yeah.
But I think that there were some scenes where Keanu was just had somebody do it.
Fair.
Because I think that I saw that fact as well.
Mm-hmm.
That most of his scenes were him. But like
Yeah.
he didn't want to like climb out on the edge of the building. Like that scene was not necessarily him. Like he didn't climb out that window
That's fair.
to get
yeah.
on the edge of the building.
Yeah.
Speaking of buildings,
Oh.
did you know that this movie was filmed completely in Australia?
Really?
Yeah. So they went to Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers was like, "Okay, we're gonna make this movie. How much is it gonna cost to make this movie?" And they're like, "Well, it'll cost about $180 million,
Dang.
and we want to film in Chicago." And they were like, nah, we're gonna give you $63 million, and you're gonna film in Australia. So all the cityscape stuff
Uh-huh.
is Sydney.
Wow.
Yeah, they just did like, I guess that was what the fact said, is that they flew like for all the, like on the TV when Morpheus is like, "This is the world as you know it," and it like shows the pan over the skyscrapers.
Right.
Apparently that was just in Sydney.
Like no actors, it was just like people walking on the streets. Dang. It's pretty cool.
And also, final fun fact for me, because I really want to get into some of the parts and scenes from this movie that are just so good.
Yeah.
The code in the Matrix, it consists of Japanese katakana, which is
Yeah.
like their letters that were taken and copied from a cookbook.
A sushi cookbook, right?
I have no idea.
Because I think I saw that note, but I couldn't. I thought I saw one thing that was a cookbook, but I think I saw also one thing that I think it was a sushi cookbook. I don't know why my
You don't
brain-
really, in most cases, you don't cook sushi, so I don't know if.
I think it might have been like a menu.
I think that's kind of a redundant kind of
Yeah,
book
I
thing.
know. I think I either saw that it was a sushi restaurant menu or a cookbook, and but I know it has to do with sushi. I know that part. That's all I know. So.
Sheesh.
What?
That's awesome, though.
All right. How about you start with your favorite parts?
The whole movie is my favorite part.
Same.
So I will start with one, and then we'll kick it over to you.
Okay, yeah, we can
And then-
toss the ball.
Yeah. So starting off, I love the fact that they talk to him through his computer,
Oh yeah.
because they like he sees Wake Up Neo on the screen,
And he wakes up.
and then I think that they ask him what is the Matrix, or like follow the white rabbit on the computer. That much I know.
Yeah, I think they said like. No, I think that was Trinity when she saw him. Like Morpheus will answer the one question you've been looking for or whatnot.
Oh yeah, and then he says, "What is the Matrix?"
Yeah. But the very first time I watched this movie, I think I always thought that they spoke through his headphones. But then when I watched it recently, for this podcast, I noticed that his music was still playing and that he was just waking up because they were like hacking into the coding of it of all. So, and I don't think I realized that because again, I was younger, didn't like fully and this is part of my comprehension issues and why I need to multiply watch movies over and over again, is that like I miss those keen details of like, think about it, they were like going into the Matrix and through the real world computer saying, oh, we're going to put this code in that this is going to show up on his computer, which is really his dream state. It's just like coding, you're altering, and that's so awesome.
It's like tricking somebody into thinking in a certain way.
Yes. One of my facts, speaking about coding, I think I only have 4 facts, but
or 4 favorite parts.
Oh yeah, sorry, 4 favorite parts. Well, like again, the whole thing was my favorite part.
The movie
in general. Chef's kiss. Speaking about coding, I liked how everything was green coded when it was in the Matrix, and I did read a fact about that. I just didn't think it was like cool to put it in the fact part because I just liked that, because I didn't realize it too until I read the fact, but basically it's supposed to represent when you're in the Matrix, is that it has this green tint to everything. But just me in general is like, I really like the lighting in this. Like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I like how everything looks.
One of the things, I just wrote down a bunch of quotes because it's all about the quotes. I think that the lines are delivered with intention that just makes me just want to just throw my arms up and be like, ah! One of my favorite quotes from the beginning of the movie was when he was giving him the I think it was right before Morpheus gave Neo the red and blue pill option. He said, "No one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself." And I was like, wow! Like I think that of all the movies I've seen, this is one of my favorite ones where the lines just hit different.
Oh yeah.
Because pretty much all the things I love about this movie are quotes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. It is awesome. And I love, the thing I love with Morpheus and Neo is like, Neo always has questions or expectations, and then as soon as you hear Morpheus talks, he's like, well, now I'm even more confused, or like, you really didn't answer my question. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's yeah. He just is like, what? He like makes the what face.
Yeah. It's like, I also just in general, like, this is a Warner Bros. Film. I just would love to mention I forgot that Warner Bros. Like right? They produce it, right?
Yeah,
is that the right?
Because they supply money for it.
Right. Okay. Sometimes I can't remember like what a producer is, but I just love most movies by Warner Bros. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Every time I see it, not only like Looney Tunes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta love me some Looney Tunes, but just everything they do, awesome.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna keep rattling off quotes.
Go for it.
So one of my other ones is when Neo is learning all the kung fu jujitsu and stuff, and then Morpheus like comes into the room, and Neo wakes up and he says, "I know kung fu," and then Morpheus just leans over and goes, "Show me," and I'm like, oh,
powerful.
Like in my brain when I think about that interaction, it could have gone differently. Like, oh yeah, I could have been like if I was in that situation, I'd probably say to Neo, "Cool, bro," or something like that. Like some sort of something that wouldn't be like, "I want to fight you."
I'd be that's like, fair.
"Dude, Tank just told me you're a legend at this. You've been sitting here for 10 hours straight going through this stuff. Oh, that's so awesome of you." But he's just like, "Prove it." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, Morpheus, go!" Then their fight is like,
amazing. And I think that honestly, it just adds more to the whole idea of like the view Morpheus has on Neo. Because for a while, maybe like a middle of the movie or something, Neo listens to the Oracle and is like, I'm not the one. So then they think
Yeah.
Morpheus is just not delusional, or as the kids would say, delulu. They just think he's like misguided or whatnot. And Neo's like, just Morpheus is just fighting. Or like that big speech he has before he goes saves Morpheus is like, Morpheus put his life on the line because he thinks I'm the one, so I have to go save him. Blah blah blah. But I don't know the line. Fully.
He thinks I'm something that I'm not.
Yeah, that's also a really good line, just
Yeah.
in general. Sorry, I butchered it. But,
It's okay. We forgive you.
Okay, thank you guys. But like that whole, again, going back to that relationship that they have is just amazing.
Oh yeah. It's like a teacher student relationship.
Sensei senpai.
Yeah. What?
What?
Do you know what senpai means?
Sorry, not senpai. Not senpai. Yeah. Technically, it means upperclassman.
Oh man.
Sorry.
Yeah, but it's such a dynamic relationship where the student doesn't like he wants to believe because Morpheus believes in him so much he wants to believe, but he just isn't there to the point where he can believe.
Right, yeah.
And like that leads into one of my favorite parts is that I don't know if you noticed this, but every single character on the ship, except for APOC and Switch, because they kind of got out on a bad mark, every single character except for APOC, Switch, and Dozer realized on their own at some point in time that Neo is the one. Because here, let me explain.
Yeah.
You go. You say what you were gonna say, and then I'll explain.
Well, I was gonna say, because who does that leave? That leaves what?
Mouse, Trinity, Cypher, Tank, and Morpheus.
And they all figured it out.
Morpheus knew all along.
Yeah.
Trinity knew the moment that she saw him.
Because of the Oracle too.
Yeah. Well, she said that the one that she was gonna the one that she fell in love with would be the one.
Yeah.
And boom, pretty much immediately, because Cypher makes a comment where he's like, "You never brought me dinner."
Yeah.
Cypher realizes it when he gets roasted.
Right.
Because he's like,
gotta have a damn miracle to get out of this one or something.
Yeah. If this guy's the one, then I cannot pull this plug.
Yeah.
And then Tank gets up and blows him away.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, believe it.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then Mouse, well, that was the younger kid, right?
Yeah, he figured it out pretty early on.
Man, I don't...
Because he died in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
So it was really early on. Like when he was fighting Morpheus is when I think that he realized it. Because like that is something that just didn't typically happen. Where Neo had the upper hand on Morpheus. And so Mouse was like, I think that was the moment where it clicked for him.
Oh, okay.
And then Tank, his moment was when they had just rescued Morpheus, and Neo just like takes the chopper, the strap that's strapped to the chopper, and just like wraps his arm around it and just like holds onto it. And then like saves Trinity and Morpheus, and then Tank is just like, he is the one.
Yeah. What was that before or after he jumped into Agent Smith's body though?
That was way before.
Way before? Oh, was it? Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Morpheus and Trinity aren't in the Matrix when Neo jumps into him.
Right. That's true. Okay. That's right. That to me, I feel like is when Neo knew.
Yeah. I think I honestly think when he like got blasted.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
See, I think there were two moments for Trinity though, going back to it.
Yeah.
I think that there was the love thing, and then like she slowly realized it throughout the movie.
Yeah, I think she was in denial.
I think that the biggest one though for her was when he dodged the bullets right in front of her. Because she was like, nobody's ever moved that fast.
Right, because don't they make a
comment?
How
did you do that?
Yeah, doesn't she make the comment?
She said, how did you do that? Nobody's ever moved that fast.
And then Neo just is like, I think he kind of shrugged it off. He's like, I don't think I did, or something like that. Like, he was still in denial himself.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Because I mean, in the subway, like before him and I think that is true. Like that he was still sort of in denial. Like I'm not the one, but I just dodged bullets because some kid told me there is no spoon, which is like the coolest line.
I know.
Like from a kid.
Yeah.
In one of the coolest lines in cinema history is when that kid says, "You have to realize the truth," and then Neo is like, "What truth?" And he says, "There is no spoon." And then it's just like,
yeah. And that's before he talked to the Oracle, and how dare he then think, well, the Oracle says I'm not the one. Like, what the heck? And, like, all those other kids being the potential. I don't think I ever realized that. Like, they're supposed to be the potential the ones. Because while watching it a few days ago, I was thinking to myself, well, why are they not outside the Matrix? And then I realized the thing I think Morpheus said is, like, a lot of people aren't ready to come out. For them, obviously, they're young. So, you know, you don't want to pull someone super young out of it, you know. And it's probably like the Avatars, you know. You want to make sure there's one to precede the other or something.
Yeah.
You know?
I can see that.
You don't want to kill them all. Oh gosh, it's like you have like a whole army of the ones.
We are the one.
Yeah. That's really funny to think about. Another one of my favorite parts, and I talked about this a little bit, was just the whole idea of the simulation theory. I just love that in general. And I don't know... Oh my gosh, did I not save the note? There is... Oh, I skipped right over it. In like, there's a little thing about just the... I guess fun fact, but just about, like, I love simulation theory. I love that. I don't think I realized Neo had already been looking into the simulation theory. Like, that's what his connection, like, he was searching for. I never realized that. Because, again, I was just too young to comprehend that, or just in general to comprehend. But also just in one of the most interesting conversations to open up between philosophy and pop culture in recent decades, the Wachowski brothers at the time, the writers and the directors of the popular science fiction film The Matrix, identified the French cultural theorist, I don't know how you say, it's spelled Jean, but it's French. What's the French for Jean? Like Jean? It's on a tip.
I only know bonjour. And I don't even think I said that right.
I think it's like a Jean.
Jean?
I'm just gonna say Jean Baudrillard. I know, I'm sorry.
It's probably just Jean.
Probably, gosh. But he was the primary source of inspiration for the story of The Matrix, even going so far as to feature a copy of his most famous book, The Simulacra and Simulation of 1994, as the prominent prop in the scene where Neo is in his room and he picks up that book.
Oh.
That's the guy where the inspiration is from. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. But here's another fun fact. This theorist explicitly disowned The Matrix as a representation of his thinking, going as far as to indicate that The Matrix is the kind of film the evil Matrix programming would make about The Matrix. So he says, like, this whole movie is a poor representation of his book, and that this is not the image that he was trying to portray.
Well, I think if you think about it right, it sounds like his simulation theory revolves around, like, that we're controlled by a being of some sort that is good.
Right.
And you want to know something that I realized about The Matrix that I was like, oh, that's kind of disgusting and disturbing.
Is it the human pods?
No.
Oh.
Most of the machines look like bugs.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Sentinels look like a cricket type thing. Because, I mean, you saw the little thingies as they were lasering.
Yeah.
And then
You had some squid thingies.
When they were looking at the thingy,
the thingy with the thingies.
Yeah, when they were showing the feeding grounds or whatever, where they were, like, the ones taken.
Yeah.
those things kind of looked like grasshoppers with like big engines on their backs. That's what it looked like to me. I was like, those things kind of look like grasshoppers.
And they got flying doodads and like squiddy doodads, or I don't know, what's the? Is it flies that have the tongue that no? What's the? Insect? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was weird.
I love that he talked about AI though, and he's like, at the beginning of AI, everyone was so happy about it because of the fact that it's helpful.
Yeah.
But this is what happened now, and I was like, We're a little bit away from 2155 is what they estimated.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, no, 21.99 because they're like, you think it's 19.99, but really it's 21.99, or what we think
is 21.99.
Yeah.
So in about 200 years or something like that.
Honestly,
or
though,
close.
Might be close. No, because we're gonna go through an era where like it's like the Jetsons.
I mean, either way, we won't be around to see it.
That's true. So you think maybe we'll have?
You think by the time I'm 104, they'll have created a technology that allows my heart to keep beating, regardless of whether or not I am actually physically alive?
No, I'm thinking like with Ghost in a Shell, we're gonna have like synthetic cybernetic bodies.
You think prosthetics are gonna advance that much?
Yeah. So I'll be alive to see it. But dang it, I'm gonna save my money right now so that I can afford that.
What do you think the most expensive thing on your body to replace is?
Just going through all the functions of my body right now. Would it be like the organs? Because I bet I could just, if I got a discount shell and I look like a trash can or something, it would just be the organs. I would think my kidney, because like that's going to process, like a prosthetic version of my kidney would have to still cycle through all the fluids I'm getting, even if it's like cybernetic cerebral fluid or whatnot. Like it still has to cycle through. Like what if there's dirt going in my vents or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Kidney. What about you?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I was just asking you because I just threw it out there.
I was gonna say brain because like that's hard to replace because it'd be like, but maybe if they like downloaded your brain into a little microchip, then you could put in any like cybernetic bot, but that would be really expensive.
It's true.
Yeah.
There was another scene that I really enjoy for two reasons. One, because it's phenomenal. And two, because it's referenced in a different movie, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, it's referenced. It's one that I caught when, first off, I want to start by saying that I love the scene when they're about to go back into the Matrix to save Morpheus. And I think it's Trinity makes a comment along the lines of no one's ever done anything like this, and then Neo turns and goes, "That's why I know it's going to work." And that is just like the coolest thing ever. I was just like, ah!
Yeah, like it's the confidence there.
Yeah.
What other movie was that set in?
No, not that one.
Oh my.
The one that comes after this one.
Sorry, what was the one?
So then Tank loads in and he's like, "Okay, what do you guys need?" And Neo says guns. Lots of guns.
I feel like that's in so many movies.
But specifically Keanu Reeves saying it.
Oh. Is it in the John Wick?
It is in John Wick. He says it in John Wick 3. So they're going to like defend whatever. I'm not going to say what they're defending, but one of the characters says, "What do you need from me, John?" And the reason why this is so exciting for me was because Lawrence Fishburne is also in the third movie. And I was like, "Mom." I went and saw this in the theaters with my mom. And I was like, "Mom, you got Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves in the same movie." And they asked John Wick what he needs from him. He's going to say it. He's going to say it. And then he says, "Guns. Lots of guns." And I was like, "Ah!
He said it!
He said the thing!" I freaked out.
God.
It was so awesome. Yeah, you need to watch John Wick.
I guess I have to. Jeez. The only other thing I really liked about the movie was just what they did with reflections. Like, I could not stop staring at everyone's glasses or even the spoon and how you could see the reflections of people.
Yeah.
Just, that hat, I don't even know. Most of that's probably, like, CGI, though. Like, refracting it because I feel...
Well, I mean, spoons, they turn you upside down if you look at them, right?
Yeah,
they're
and
like
I
a
don't think
reverse
he was,
mirror.
and I don't think he was upside down in it.
No.
But also, like, the part of the spoon was CGI because they had to bend it.
Yeah.
But you could see his reflection a little bit. You could see his reflection in it. And then Morpheus' sunglasses, which I also saw something that Morpheus, Neo, and Trinity all had their, like, the sunglasses they wore are all custom made for the actors to keep. That's
that's
cool.
sick.
Yeah. But anyway, with the reflections on the sunglasses, I don't think that was a natural reflection.
Well, I mean, it was pretty bright. Like, to go along with that, like, because you could clearly see their face. I feel like in sunglasses, especially in film, it's a little bit harder to physically see somebody in a sunglasses reflection if it's
Right.
not, like, aviators.
Right. So that's why I think, like, obviously it was custom made or CGI or whatnot, but I think it was awesome. Like, I love that added bit because I feel like everything that had a reflection, or that was reflective in some point, had that added ability. And so I really liked it it was mostly in the Matrix, obviously. It wasn't in the real world. But it was like that added bit that just gave me that idea of, yeah, this is definitely the Matrix. Like, this isn't the real world right now. And I don't know, just added to the awesomeness of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So since we're pretty far along into this, and I know I could talk about this movie for hours,
Yeah.
we're going to move into some of our favorite characters.
Yep.
Do you have any that you'd like to list?
I'm just going to rapid fire them right now.
Okay.
So, Neo, obviously,
Okay.
Keanu, just because of the whole, he is the guy in the prophecy, but I can't speak, rebels against it. But it's that kind of idea is always overplayed. But Keanu plays it so well that doesn't seem, because I don't know, he does it so perfectly. I love the Oracle because she adds a layer of answers and more questions, just like Morpheus. And I'm all for it. Like, because you learn it later, but I'm over, like, is she a god? Is she human? Is she just the most powerful? We don't know. Obviously, Trinity, because of their chemistry, love it. And then Morpheus, but only his real world version. His Matrix version's awesome, but I enjoy the real world more. Okay, your turn.
So I did Trinity, Thomas Anderson. The only reason why I wrote Thomas Anderson is because when I was watching the movie, my brain started clicking and clicking and clicking. And I know that Mr. Smith, or Agent Smith, calls him Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
And so I was like, do we even hear his... I had the thought, do we even ever hear his first name in this movie?
At first, like...
And then the mailman says it. The mailman goes, Thomas Anderson? And he says, yeah, that's me. And then he gives him the package that has the phone in it.
Oh, I was like, when was there a mailman?
Yeah. And so I was like, because everyone who's not in the Matrix calls him Neo.
Yeah.
And the agents call him Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, because they want him.
And so I was like, is there any, like, do we know his first name?
Well, they said it a few times in the beginning.
I don't
Just a
know.
few.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I remember when Agent Smith talks to him for the very first time, he says Thomas Anderson. And then after that, when he gets more aggravated with him, he will say Mr. Anderson. But first time in that interrogation room, he goes, Thomas Anderson, a computer, and it names off like his file.
I just couldn't remember that.
That's okay.
Morpheus, obviously. Morpheus is sick. Tank. Dude, I underlined Tank because Tank is my guy.
He's a tank, man.
Yeah. He's a real one. He's an OG. This guy, the stuff he survives. And, like,
yeah.
I love his attitude and his just his general
demeanor.
Personality. Yeah, demeanor. Because one of my favorite scenes of Tank is when he's first talking to Neo and he like explains that he's full homegrown in Zion, and I was like, that is awesome. That's my guy right there.
Yeah.
Mouse, the brother Dozer.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Also, rest in peace to Mouse. I also wrote the Oracle. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
Probably one of my... If it weren't for Tank and the rest of the cast, I'd probably say that she was number one in my heart. Because I love the interaction she has with Neo where he like breaks the... She goes, don't worry about the vase. And he's like, what vase? And then breaks it. And she's like, now think about it. The thing that's really going to trip you up later. Would you still have broken it had I not said anything?
She pops a cigarette in her mouth.
And then he's like, And then before he goes, she's like, have a cookie. And I'm like, yeah.
She's like so unhinged, but in the most grand way. I love the Oracle.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. And then I wrote Agent Smith because, like, I feel like this is how you write a bad guy who's a bad guy, all along. Mm-hmm. Because he's like constantly in their face. He is maniacal. He thinks about things. He tells Morpheus that his whole goal is just to escape.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to be on this like wretched planet. Like he just wants to go.
He literally says, "I hate this place."
Yeah, he's like, it's so smelly. So as soon as you give me this, we can leave this planet. And I love that. He's just like, I don't want to be here. I think I like his character more in the other movies because he goes more off hinged and he goes more psycho.
Oh yeah.
And I love that. Like to see I feel like it's such a human aspect to go crazy. Just so to see like something evolved from AI not be so civil, not be so method head, like to be like a bug that becomes the enemy of the enemy. It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
But that's not part of this movie, so.
I also liked Switch and APOC. Although I think, I don't know, I'm not really the biggest fan of Switch. She doesn't really do anything in this movie. I'm like, APOC, he's cool.
Yeah. They were good, like, support characters. I don't know, the actor who plays Switch, I like her face. I think she has a nice, like, apocalyptic face, you know? I think it's because just, like, her hair was, like, white, right? It was, like, so white. And then she had the freckles. And I'm like, this is such a cool, like, I don't know, like, every time her and Mouse, specifically their look, I'm like, man, that's an awesome, like, apocalyptic, like Mouse's jumpsuit and just like how Switch looks. But yeah, they were one of my saddest deaths.
Yeah, like Mouse's death though.
Oh. He went out with a bang.
Literally.
Multiple.
But like I thought, like compared to everyone else's deaths, it was so messed up. Because Switch just gets their plug pulled. APOC gets his plug pulled. Not even Neo. Neo just gets blasted in the chest and he just goes, ah! But like in the chair, and in the chair, Mouse is just like propelled.
I know, and his blood goes everywhere.
It's
I'm
so
like,
nasty. I was like,
and it's so funny. Not funny. It's not funny. Wait, but like when Neo's like, if you die in the Matrix, you die in the real life, and Morpheus talks about how it's all about how your mind believes it. Mm-hmm. So the fact that your mind believes it, but we can physically see bullet holes. Or maybe, I don't know if we could physically see the bullet holes, but, like, it felt like, well, his body was reacting like he was being shot, but, like, blood was shooting out of his mouth, but I felt like I could physically see bullet holes go into him. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think that it was I think it's one of those things where his brain, it'd be like if they were just hardwired in anyway. Mm-hmm. Like, his brain is so convinced that he's getting shot that his body takes on the attributes of getting shot.
Right, which is just so...
Yeah. It's just wow.
It's like, man, what am I doing in my humanoid pod right now? You know?
Yeah. Sheesh.
Speaking about the humanoid pods, I did see it. I know we're done with the facts, but did you know Keanu was so method when they were method acting that when they were doing the scene in the pod, he fully shaved his whole body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not prosthetic. It's not, like, rubber latex. He just fully shaved down. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
He's just a naked mole rat. Okay. What were the things you hated?
I didn't hate really anything. The only thing I could really say is that I wrote Cypher.
Oh, just because, don't get me started on Cypher.
He's just a D-bag. The entire movie. Like, he was mad when he left, And you could tell at the beginning that he's the reason why they got tracked. And, like, I noticed it. I don't know if you did, but, like, I've watched this movie so many times that I'm kind of surprised it went over my head. When Morpheus asks someone for a phone, Cypher reaches into his pocket and then just keeps his hand in his pocket. Because, like, I'm sure he forgot that he got rid of his phone so that he could give information to the... Because he got rid of his phone to give information to the agents. And he put his hand in his pocket, and then Morpheus turns away from him and grabs Apoc's phone.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, they played into the fact that he just didn't have a phone. Wow. And so he just kept his hand in his pocket, not pulling out his assumed phone from Morpheus.
Gosh, I didn't notice that, but that's such a cool, like, layering of actors. I love that. But no, I hate Cypher so much.
Yeah.
Like, he has the perfect look for a traitor. He's love-driven. He's jealous. He just likes the taste of the fake steak. Like, he just wants to be on the right side. When he's like, if I could go back, I would have never have taken the blue pill. Which pill was it? Yeah. It's like, I would have taken the red one.
I think it's
I would have taken the blue one. I don't know.
I always get it confused.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I'm gonna beat that guy up.
Yeah. Going along with that, what would you change about the movie?
Well, I just want to go over the things I hated. Just, like, the choppy part.
Oh, was that the only... I didn't realize that was the only thing. Not the only thing.
No, I actually... There's a few things I didn't really like. The choppy part that I was talking about...
Do you remember what it was?
What? The choppy part?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to read it right now.
Oh.
Jeez. When Neo was being, like, going through what... I don't know how many months he was, like, getting his muscles redone or whatnot. You know, when they were sticking and poking him to, like...
Oh, yeah,
his muscles atrophying. Yeah. So, like, the beats that they had to welcome to the real world, and I wrote down "we did Trinity," but I don't know if that was the actual line. But it just felt way too stale and offbeat. Like, I know he was going in and out of focus, but it was such a weird... beat. I don't know, like, I feel like it could have been done a little bit more. But I also I hated when they had the lobby part when they were rescuing Morpheus, and Neo has that cool, like, goes through the scanner and they're like, what? And they're like, take off all the metal you have, and he opens up, it's all those guns. I did not like the part where Trinity came in with her one gun, shot like 2 times, and then threw her gun away. Like, there was like, Neo had, like, a couple of guns and shot 20 million more times than Trinity, and she threw her gun. I just hated that. Like, what the heck? And then, and I also hated when Neo woke up, and mainly I was just confused about this, but when Thomas technically woke up from his humanoid pod, and that AI sentient thing goes to attack, but then he backs off, and then Neo gets drained. Like, I never understood, why did he go to attack him and then backed off? I never understood whether or not that was, like, Morpheus and them hacking the sentient, which if they had the ability to do that, why aren't they doing that more? I didn't know if that was the sentient thinking, no, I'm just going to drain you because you guys don't know how to swim, maybe, and you're going to drown, and that's where Morpheus picks them up. Like, I did not get it. It made no sense to me.
That might have been the case because as soon as they wake up in the real world, then they're no longer nutrition for the machines, right?
Yeah, but can you?
So it's like it's just like disposing of it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Like, oh, you've woken up. There's no point in trying to keep you locked into this thing anymore.
Yeah,
we're gonna dispose of you.
It just wasn't that clear to me because I can understand. Oh, maybe you went to attack because you're trying to look threatening, but it was so weird, and I hated it. I just hated it. All right? I hated it. But if I could change anything, I would just change going more along that scene. The scene where Neo is picked up by the pods because how the crane is grabbing him.
It's so funny.
There's one little hook that's like in his booty crack, and I'm over here thinking, like, logistically, I'm like, his parts are being crushed by that crane. like it is so far in there. I'm like, dude, the whole weight of his body, and he's obviously dead weighting. Like, there could have been a better way to pick him up. Come on. But what would you want to change?
The only thing that I wrote for what I would want to change was how did Cypher meet with the agents? Because
Ooh, yeah.
as the logic dictates, he can't jack himself into the Matrix, and so
I was thinking about that too.
There was nobody else on the ship knew what he was doing, and so they wouldn't have, because he probably did it. He did it in the middle of the night, because that's when he met with the agents, and I'm assuming that the real world, the Matrix reflects the real world in terms of like time of day,
right?
And so I was like, how in the world was that possible?
Yeah, because you would.
Everyone else was sleeping. You need two people to go in.
Yeah, because you need one of the brothers, mainly Tank, right? Because I don't the other brother.
Dozer knew.
Okay, I didn't know if Dozer was. I couldn't remember if he just did like the engineering side or if that was just Mouse, but yeah, like you would need one of them to give you a dial out, and you can't just naturally go in by yourself. Like you just said, and I don't know.
So it kind of threw me off.
Like, did they do separate missions? Because if you think about it, Trinity was always, like, by herself, and they had, like, their comms and stuff like that. So I wonder if they were, like, on their recon missions for getting surveillance.
See, but at that point in time, you'd think that if Trinity or any of the other crew was in the Matrix, then Mouse or Dozer would know about it.
Yeah, because then they can see the thing. Yeah, so I really just... Yeah, that's a plot hole. You're right.
Yeah.
That'd be a plot hole.
It doesn't change my love for this movie, but I was just like, that's something I've always considered. I was like, how did he get in there?
I did question that, but like I mainly questioned like how did they?
Because I mean, he'd have to like lean back and like shove the spike into his own head and then load in on his own.
But then how would he get out?
Exactly.
Was it on a timer? Maybe? Do you think he would have done a phone call timer? I don't know. And then I feel like the agents would have just like screwed him over and be like, we'll tap in through that way. Like if it was an open phone. I really just don't know.
And I mean, they really just didn't care. I don't think they would have granted Cypher the access back into the Matrix. I think that they would have just killed him.
Yeah. I think so too. I hate that guy.
So, what would you give this?
Oh boy. Man, I love this movie so much just because of the conspiracies, the simulation theory, and just like and the fact that there's people to this day still trying to prove that we're in one that have like decent evidence, like when the crow not flying or like the chickens glitching with the deja vu, and just AI's ever growing. Like this might be our near future. I mean, it could be. I just loved it so much. I mean, I'm gonna get an unlimited bucket for sure. But here's the thing: I'm gonna run out of popcorn before the movie's done, and I'm not gonna go refill my popcorn because I'm gonna be so in tune to this movie. I'm not gonna want to go out there, and this is why I wanna make this a today thing right now. We should advocate for the popcorn machine thing in the concession stand to be inside the theater so we don't have to leave, because I'm so tired of mainly my parents doing this, but getting unlimited buckets and then going out, waiting in line to get your popcorn because other people are just freshly going to watch their other movies because they're staggered, and I'm missing too much of the movie. You know how much in a movie, or how much happens in a movie in 1 minute? Too much. And I'm going like, I gotta walk 2 minutes out of the theater and duck, and then I gotta walk to the concession stand. I gotta order. I gotta wait in line. I gotta order. I gotta pay. I gotta wait for them to take forever to fill up my unlimited bucket. Then I gotta walk 2 minutes back, duck again, spill probably some of my popcorn because I'm not gonna pay attention. Some little kid's foot's gonna be in my way, and I'm gonna be like, arr. Then I gotta find my seat in the dark and not sit on something, and then get comfortable and move everything because they don't give enough room in those seats. And then I have to look at the screen like, wow, okay, Switch is dead.
What I miss.
Yeah, like what the heck. So, yeah. Let's all jump on this bandwagon. What would you rate it?
Dude, I would get an unlimited bucket too.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I was gonna say like XXL unlimited, just because of the fact that I would be one of those people who would leave the theater and then purchase another ticket and go watch it again.
Oh, for real? Me too.
I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna stay here. Like as the credits are rolling, I'm gonna stay here. Is that cool?
It's like, I'll help you clean up.
Yeah, because that's how much I love this movie. Like I'm gonna go on record saying that this movie, because I've said it before to multiple people, and I still believe it to this day, this movie is my favorite 90s movie.
I would have to agree with you.
It is so good.
It is.
They did it so well.
Definitely.
Even with the plot holes and stuff, the rest of the movie just makes up for it.
Honestly, yeah. And you guys have to watch at least the second and third one. Which, small last fun fact, is the second and third one were going to be released at the exact same time, but Warner Bros. Said no, so they gave a 6-month gap.
Oh, sick. That's awesome.
Yeah. But I already forgot their name. So the Wachowskis wanted it done at the same time, but the Warner Bros. Wanted more money, you see?
Yeah, that makes sense, though.
Yeah. Well, Cheese, that seems to be all the time we have today. We did run a little late, but that's okay. This was a good movie.
Oh, yeah. It was well worth the talk.
Yeah, I was going to say the wait, but the only people waiting, I guess, is our audience for us to be quiet. But anyway, tune in next week for another edition into AI with my choice of Jexi.
You're going to have to spell that out for me.
I will, don't worry. Jexi. Jexi. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching and have a great week.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.